While Yale students don't believe that attending an Ivy League school adds any additional pressure, the Office of Diversity and Equity assures that affirmative action isn't used as a tiebreaker. All visitors coming into the school must wear these visitor passes. Stories like Joshua O'Connell's are not uncommon. In another tragedy that has brought Americans together, many of their parents know one thing for sure, but at least students have a clear and safe path to walk on. Schools across the country are taking extra safety precautions. You would think that a power outage would negatively affect a business. Colorado shooting suspect James Holmes has offered to plead guilty. Students are saying that they're taking the time now to lock out any potential risk. Stay tuned with QNN on continued updates of the Boston Marathon bombings. 6 student suicides at Cornell University back in 2010 are triggering concerns about collegiate stress levels.
I think various environmental stressors, including academic rigor, could lead to certain kinds of behaviors, but I think it's a sort of caricature to say that because these students study hard, they must be inclined to kill themselves.
Although there is no definitive data on the subject, some people believe the link between Ivy Leagues and suicide may be because of the school's competitive reputations.
Well, I think in general, the media tends to focus on the Cornells and the MIT and Harvard and wherever because these names have a sort of cachet about them and they're more recognizable as brands too.
However, students that attend Ivy League institutions like Yale understand the stress of the need to succeed.
I think people tend to project a sense of being okay all the time because it's part of that image of being successful. That maybe people are a little more reluctant to talk about issues they might be having because everyone around them is trying to project this image of success.
But not all students are feeling negative effects of the pressure.
I came from from a state school in Germany, so there was not that much pressure. There's definitely more pressure here, but it doesn't affect me negatively, I would say.
So perhaps it isn't stress levels, but mental health disorders that should be focused on.
I mean, it's unfortunate. We had a student here who committed suicide last year. Actually, that was 1 year from yesterday. And obviously it's unfortunate, and you wish people would talk about these things before they take those kinds of actions. But it's not the kind of thing where I come back and blame it on the culture here.
While Yale students don't believe that attending an Ivy League school adds any additional pressure, they certainly do sympathize with those who have taken drastic measures.
I mean, I totally understand that, right? Just because I say I don't feel the pressure doesn't mean that other people don't feel it, right? I definitely acknowledge the fact that there's something like that.
Seeking help may want to be considered since suicide is the 3rd leading cause of death among young people between 15 and 25 years of age, though some health professionals say the college years simply fall within this period. Suicide may always be an issue that affects some students within the college years, regardless of which school he or she attends, but hopefully all colleges will continue to give their students a reason to look forward to a bright future. Taylor Monaco, Q30 News. Diversity on college campuses is not uncommon. But to what lengths are institutions going to ensure this blend of culture?
There has been a continuing controversy almost since the inception of affirmative action that it wasn't leveling the playing field so much as it was privileging parts of the playing field.
Some students view affirmative action as a positive thing.
The affirmative action for different kids to come here is better off because you could have, instead of having one major culture, you could have many different cultures come around and they'll teach you something.
While others find affirmative action somewhat unfair.
I think that I understand why it exists, but I think there is a fairness to it that isn't exactly balanced.
Attitudes such as these are nothing new and have even led to a number of lawsuits in recent years. There was the Hopwood versus Texas case in 1996, the Gratz versus Bollinger case in 2003, and most notably the Fisher versus University of Texas case, where a young woman believed she was denied access to the University of Texas because she was white. Admissions offices think there may be another reason behind why the student was not admitted.
An institution wants to put together a particular kind of incoming class, and in some ways she could have just as easily been upset that a 6'5", 250-pound white defensive end was admitted and she wasn't.
The Office of Diversity and Equity assures that affirmative action isn't used as a tiebreaker. Still, some students think the policy is a little bit unfair.
I would feel that it is somewhat unfair because I feel a little more deserving of it, and that race shouldn't be something that is I think that race should be kept separate from it.
Regardless of the varying opinions, institutions like CCSU will continue to strive for diversity in their future incoming classes. Taylor Monaco, Q30 News. Hamden residents were not the only ones dealing with the unexpected. The staff at the Edge Fitness Club were expecting to have their grand opening, but instead they got Sandy. All bets were off October 30th and October 31st.
When we come in today, still no power, so we can't really have our grand opening we all expected to have.
Despite the setback, there is still a big interest in Hamden's new fitness club.
People have been coming in every single day thinking we're opening, ready for working out. So we have the new member base is about 1,700.
You would think that a power outage would negatively affect a business, but the employees here at Edge Fitness Club are confident that people are anxious to get out of their homes and back into the gym.
To be honest, a lot of people that lost power, going a little stir crazy, wanted to get out of the house. So, I mean, yesterday we were packed all day. We had people coming in and out, current members coming in for tours, just to see the new club, because we haven't been open for people to see the club yet.
Instead of letting the storm get in the way, staff members made good use of the time, making sure everything will be perfect for the real opening day. Taylor Monaco, Q30 News.